Barstool Casting Couch. And this, by the way, you fight for all your space. And for you, you should have like a full layout couch here because
this is kind of nice.
You're checking in maybe at 5'8".
Oh, come on.
Already listed at 5'8".
5'8". So Ian Rapoport, which I got to say is a stunning upset that we got you on. And to his credit, we asked Ian. The NFL said no. And then he bullied it through, which just proves any guest who wants to get on here can get on here.
Right.
So
you
last
hear that, Gronk?
What?
You hear that, Gronk?
Yeah.
There we go.
I got to tell you, in the brief time we spent together, the only time we met before, I accosted you at Media Day last year. But your likability ranking is rising rapidly, which I give you credit for.
Appreciate that.
All right. How closely are you affiliated with the NFL? Are you allowed to speak about what a liar Goodell is? I'm curious how that works. How tight-lipped do you have to be working for the Shield?
Well, the relationship is an interesting one because I think people think that the NFL sort of uses the network as the PR arm, but it's not really like that. You know, like we are reporters. Like no one clears what I'm going to say. No one checks my copy. No one says, here, you're going to report this. It's really just you know who you are working for when you report, right? So, like, I would never – here's one. I would never – like rip a ref on Twitter because
Mike Carey. What about him?
He's a little different. Although we do have a relationship with CBS, obviously, and Mike is a very nice guy.
We're just gonna put you in a pickle this entire time.
So,
I like it. I like it.
I'm actually in a pickle because I want to put him in a pickle, but I kind of like him, so I don't want to put him in a
no,
pickle.
I like you too,
I
Ian.
don't want to ask a question like with Dean Blandino when he says the PSI information is there when Goodell clearly said it wasn't. Like 2 seconds ago, when anybody with a brain is like, "What the hell is going on right now?" Can you report that like the NFL is directly contradicting themselves in the last 24 hours, or do you just have to pretend nothing happened?
I think you sort of take stock of all the information available and you just say it, you know, and that's one nice thing. One nice thing about my job and one thing that can be frustrating sometimes is like I just report. So there'll be times I'm reporting on a situation, I'll have a strong opinion, but I just can't air it because then people start to look at me different, like slanted, like, you know, hey, you're biased toward this. So I will just get as much information as I possibly can and everything and just kind of put it out and then leave it to you guys or whoever else to say, like, here's how I think about it. And so, like, with the PSI information, with Deflategate last year, and, you know, I had a report on Super Bowl Sunday last year about the varying PSI levels, that it wasn't 11 out of 12, 2 pounds under, you know, some were just a little bit under like that. And you kind of just put it out and let everyone else react.
Do you ever get upset when people try to imply that Peyton Manning did HGH, even though it was clearly sent to his wife and it was his wife doing the HGH?
Big question. What can I?
I mean, your big question is Deflategate and Deep.
No.
So
Another way to
I'm
phrase
just being
that is,
fair and
how do you
balanced.
think the media's portrayal of Brady with the Deflategate versus Peyton with HGH?
The sheriff. The sheriff.
Are we going to really call him the sheriff? Because Cam, called him the sheriff on the
Everyone loves the
before
sheriff.
the game, and then we just pretend that's been his nickname the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know where that nickname came from, but
anyway, so you know, with the Manning thing, I think some of the reason why it's been treated differently from Brady and differently from Roger Clemens, who used a similar example, is that the reporting is so flimsy. And so if you're someone who, you know,
Can I interrupt for one quick second?
Sure, no problem.
But it's a confirmed fact that there was HGH sent to his wife, right?
Right.
She admits that. So how is that flimsy?
It's flimsy that he actually used it.
So
you know, so like here's the difference with, let's say, Roger Clemens.
Agreed.
Here's Roger Clemens. We have a first person account of someone who says they injected Roger Clemens, right? So
Jose Canseco.
Right.
Who's smarter though, Clemens or Peyton Manning?
All right, but you have a first person account of someone who says they injected Clemens, and then you have the drug sent to his wife. So that's pretty strong. With Peyton, it's drug sent to his wife, which she basically admits, and that's really it. A person who has recanted his own, who didn't know him, who didn't work there, who's recanted his own testimony. Like, if you are someone who believes that Peyton Manning did it, it's tough for anyone to really like that. It's tough.
It's a common
Every
theme that
single
something
person
happens.
who's on this couch is like, you have the biggest shit show, loser, inept people
Has that
working
ever happened
for
to you? A producer just having their phone go off like 2 feet from you?
It's happened to me. It happened to me on live TV, and Eisen busted me and was like, "Ian, do you want to get that?"
Yeah,
and it was my wife.
You know what we call
FaceTiming,
that?
So I couldn't just like.
You know what we call that? We call that a Shefty. Why don't you have 2 phones? Schefter has 2 phones. He's beating you to the scoop.
It's literally
I'm
glad we're exposing the ineptitude that we work with, though, Hank.
I think that's pretty clear.
What seriously though? What's with the 2?
See, that's witty.
Yeah,
that was
I like
good.
you.
Yeah,
I like you.
Yeah, I like this guy.
You can stay. Lock the door, guys.
All right.
Lock the door.
How much makeup you got on right now?
I would say a lot.
Yeah, good amount.
I put on a lot this morning.
I don't have
You
any
do
makeup on.
yourself?
And then I was in a hurry this morning because I posted some stuff on DeMarco Murray. I raced to the set, had to get on. So then I had a makeup lady kind of touch it up a little later. It took a long time. And
Do you wear it
looks
out to the
exactly
parties?
same. I think about it sometimes. I really do because I look amazing in makeup.
That's
and
not
like,
come
not-
on,
I mean,
Ian.
no, I'm just saying,
amazing.
We just left
Amazing.
Planet Earth.
Yeah.
people think I'm young. It's fantastic.
How old are you?
53 years old.
Jesus, you're an old man.
All right.
I'm not really.
He's not
53
53, Dave.
How old
Jesus
are you?
Christ, man.
36.
He's being funny. Come on.
That one went right over my head.
Yeah, it did. All right. No, seriously though.
Well, you
Schefter
guys-
has 2
all right.
phones. You only have 1. He's beating you to every scoop. He's twice as efficient. Fact.
Paul, can you do some quick
I would
research?
say not fact.
Who's the guy who was screaming at him a couple weeks ago? He reported something and he went nuts on it. You must know who I'm talking about.
That could be a lot of people.
No, it was a big one though. Research it. Like if
Back to the.
I've never
I need
talked
to know the.
Rapoport.
Hold on. I need to hear the.
Oh,
ahead, sorry.
well, and Dominic Sue Instagram about me.
Yeah, maybe
That's
got
got
to
to be scary. That's gonna be scary.
I cut you off.
All
I
right,
didn't
so
mean to do
Yeah.
that.
here's what I have. I have this phone, which I love.
Okay.
I have my iPad, so I have iMessage up, and I have text little machine thing, or iMessage on my computer.
Yep.
So whenever I'm working and I'm on the phone, I'll have the phone, and then I'll have the text will come up.
Pops up.
Except if you don't have an iPhone, in which case I hate you, and your text don't come through immediately.
So,
What's
but you
stupid about
didn't. You dodged the question. Adam Schefter's beating you to all the scoops. He's got 2 phones.
Do you hate him? Who do
Could
you
you
hate?
fight? Could you beat him up
I
in a
do.
fight?
I don't. There's some pictures he's taken that look like he has big arms.
I
So-
actually took a picture of him this morning. I can confirm he does not.
Oh, you said it.
Yeah. So
If we actually fought,
it
I
would
was a
be
wrestler in high
pay-per-view,
school,
baby.
So I think I could
How many people were in your high school?
6.
How many?
I
people
like
were in your high
Ian.
school?
400
Ian's good. He's got the
400
little. He's got a little wit.
420 were in my high school. No, but I do like Schefter, and I respect him and the way he works.
Is it competitive? Obviously, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's the scoops that you guys are all fighting for.
It's really competitive, and like, the most you could ever ask for is like a good mutual respect. So I really
Right.
respect the job that he does. It's annoying sometimes because when I'm on something, and sometimes you say, all right, no one else knows about it. Sometimes he also knows about it, and that's frustrating too. But it's the job, and it's pretty competitive.
What? All right, and not the question. And obviously, Chris Morton's he's sick right now, so I'm not gonna go all in on him. But the leak PSI and things like that, like what, on a scale of wrongness, NFL Goodell, how big of dishonesty, treachery, deceit do you think was involved from the NFL's side on Deflategate, 1 through 10?
You talking about the release of information?
The whole thing, from the release of the information to saying it was an independent report when it wasn't, to the flip-flopping with whether they're doing the PSI. Do you think it's all been on the up and up?
So that report, the 11 of 12, it doesn't make any sense to me that the league would intentionally leak that. There's
Why
no
not
way,
correct it?
They don't really do that. They don't
Oh
really
my
do
God!
it.
Yes, they do. Their PR guy. Anytime there's something wrong, just the other day. Well, there was the concussion report that they said they're involved in it. They're not. Greg Aiello, that's the name.
That
Greg,
they did
Greg
correct that,
Aiello.
yeah.
Whenever something is wrong reported by ESPN, he goes on there and tweets, "This is not correct." He does it instantly all the time. They never did it with the Deflategate numbers.
That's true. But as far as those numbers, it doesn't make sense to me for the NFL to leak that, because why would the NFL want to go after its biggest name? That's of all the storylines, that's the one that never made sense to me. The league did not want it to be a big deal. It took over the whole Super Bowl last year. It ruined your Super Bowl experience. Why would Roger Goodell want to ruin?
it gave us content.
It made it better in the end. But the answer
that's
is this: Mike Kensel has an axe to grind. I don't think Roger Goodell was necessarily involved instantly, but it blew out of control so fast and they fell behind so big. It's like they went down a rabbit hole, and then they had to kind of build a story to corroborate all this stuff that went down.
See, I don't
and Mike
think
Kensel legitimately, and I had an inside source, and an inside deep source before Kensel, they said this guy hates us. He hates from the time with the Jets, and he will do anything. That's why. That's why he went on the sidelines and says, I caught you guys. You're in big friggin' trouble now." Like before anything even happened.
See, I don't know, but I would be stunned if Kensel actually had it out for the Patriots. I would be beyond stunned.
That seems like I'm talking to Roger Goodell now.
Can we ask some fun questions? Because we don't really want to talk about.
All right, that's fair.
Anymore.
I go down these rabbit
holes. Yeah, he gets himself all worked up, and his blood pressure goes up. Would you go to jail for your sources?
Yeah,
you would.
Absolutely.
Tell me your sources.
No, I think I'd be fine in jail.
How'd
you would not.
I would be fine in jail.
You're a pretty boy.
Yeah, you are a pretty boy.
Yes, but I feel like I'd negotiate the different, gangs, and I'm
that's
sort
fair.
of a man of the people.
Use your brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be trading cigarettes, and I'd be fine.
There you go.
Somebody would make you their rag doll.
I don't think so.
What is the biggest story you've had that's been wrong?
Ooh. Here you go. I was covering Alabama for the Birmingham News. I was 26.
Must be a hot. That probably is actually.
It was.
Who's on that team? Sean Alexander?
No. I'm not old. On that team was. Let's see who's in the NFL now. Andre Smith.
Okay.
Can I peep your?
Who was the
messages?
coach? Was it Shula?
Tips.
Shula, and then all right. So Shula gets fired.
Okay.
And I'm 26. I'm in this crazy world. There's a coaching search going on. So I find out 2 high-level sources who are like in the mix that Rich Rodriguez has agreed to terms to be Alabama's head coach.
What a sliding doors moment that would have been.
He has agreed on a contract. He has agreed on salaries for his assistants, and he's going to come in the next day. Huge story. My name, Birmingham News, Ian Rapoport, scrolling on the bottom of ESPN. Biggest moment of my life. He sleeps on it, wakes up the next morning, and boosters are waiting for him. They offer him $700,000 more in salary and facilities improvements. He goes to tell his team the next day. He changes his mind. And I was public enemy number 1. Paul Feinbaum was destroying me.
But that's not really your mistake.
Yeah,
that's
not. But that was wrong.
I mean, the way he told it wasn't his mistake. There may have been a little more hanky-panky, but that's the type of thing that may get you murdered in Alabama.
I was very scared. I got death threats.
Yeah,
it was very
that's
serious.
Crazy. That is.
Then they hired Saban, and no one cared.
Yeah, and they won $1 million national champions. How much do you hate J.J. Watt?
He's tough to hate, man.
He's tough to hate. He's tough to like. He used my word today in an interview with Dan Patrick show. Hardo.
He did not.
Yeah, he
is
did.
Is he a stoolie?
He reads us.
He obviously is.
He said a lot of people say I'm a hardo.
And you're like, yeah.
I've been mean to him, so.
I think, directly.
No, guys like him, you sort of like, he's actually kind of like Brady, because I thought when I met Brady, I would not like him. He's got everything.
That's a ridiculous comparison.
No, it's the same thing. I thought Brady would be like a jerk. He's got everything. I thought he'd be arrogant. He's just like a good guy, and I think Watt's kind of the same thing.
No, that's not true. How much does your suit cost?
It's a Zara suit, so probably like $400.
How many suits? How many suits?
Not very expensive.
How many suits do you own?
It was one of the first ones that I bought.
You're on national TV.
Is it Joseph A. Banks special?
No,
better than
that. No, when I first started, I had to buy like 5 suits right in a row.
I apologize. I'm kidding.
Hey, Ian.
I apologize for interrupting. Excuse me.
All right, yeah. So $400. How many suits do you own?
Like 10.
Okay, how many ties? Only 10 suits. You wear a suit every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, sometimes I wear just the jacket and pajama pants. Sometimes I wear just
by the way,
jacket and
that's
pajama
rookie, like being on live TV. Hold your mic to your.
Yeah, I know.
The
first time using a microphone.
All right. Is that because you don't care about clothes, or you don't want to blow your budget on clothes? I'm surprised the NFL Network doesn't pay for your clothes.
It is because I got them all at once, and I'm slowly upgrading the wardrobe. But I don't want to just like blow all this money at once, because then
they don't pay for it.
They don't directly pay for it.
That's crap.
Where are the NFL Network headquarters? Like, where do you work?
LA, right?
My personal headquarters are in Westchester, New York, in my basement.
Oh, I thought it was in L.A. I thought we asked you for a tour of the headquarters and you ignored us when we were in L.A.
That sounds accurate, but
We did. We were like, we'd like to see NFL. This is before any of the
the headquarters are in L.A., but I have a studio in my house.
We're like, I know this guy in Rapoport.
How many days do you work from home every day?
Crickets.
I work from home.
It's crickets.
Some days I will go into the city. On Sunday, I'm at NFL headquarters on a balcony for our pregame show.
How do you sleep?
I'm sure you guys watch.
How do you sleep knowing like stuff could break?
Yeah.
Like if you sleep, it's like in our world, it's sort of similar but dissimilar. Yours is more competitive. You got to be the first one. So do you just have it? Do you have some sort of super duper Ian Rapoport bat phone that goes off that something break? I better be up.
No, but like during like coaching search time, which is crazy, free agency, which is crazy, I will sleep with my ringer on my phone under my pillow and have horrible sleep. Like 3 years ago when the Bears hired Tressman.
Oh, gross. I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah, that was
like the worst hire ever.
That didn't work out.
Yep.
It happened at 2:30 in the morning.
And you reported
Eastern
it
time.
first?
I actually did not because I didn't hear my phone. So I get a text and it's like, it's Tressman, go with it now. And I'm like, what in the hell?
So who sent you that? Who sent you that?
A source.
What is his name?
Okay.
Okay. That was a good test. What?
Do you know any people in the NFL headquarters besides Goodell that we rattle, that were in their cage, that were in their noodle, that were in their kitchen? And they're just like, we better watch out for these Barstool guys because they're going to bring havoc to the NFL?
No.
Liar.
I don't think, the NFL gets criticized all over the place.
Rightfully so.
As do like every organization. So
the NFL gets a lot more because of the way Goodell's handled a lot of the latest incidents.
no,
I just want on the record I have no problem with the NFL.
It's a fun game to watch, though.
of course, and that will be
What's your favorite part of the job? Notoriety. I saw that Raider fan who looked like he just came out of the black hole. Asked for your picture. So
Raiders people are my people.
Is that?
That's maybe you would be okay in jail. Yeah, maybe you would be okay.
Great.
in
I
jail.
appreciate the Raiders
The
people.
bad
Browns
boy of
people.
the
Oh, it's
NFL
great.
Network.
You.
No, it's the
You
the
bad
best
boy.
part of the job is when I win and break a big story.
Oh, that must feel.
And it's just the best.
So-
but then the opposite is when I get just crushed on something huge. The feeling is just horrible.
What's the Ian Rapoport celebration dance when you break a big story?
It's a fist pump, a casual fist pump
Oh,
that
man,
my
that must
wife
be
makes
something
fun
else.
of endlessly.
So,
You gotta do it,
like
though.
people don't really fist pump.
But
Like,
you
yes.
got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Give us it.
Give it to us. Give us the Ian. Oh yes, that felt good.
And then you're like, all right. But the problem is when you break something, like it's all right, TV, quick,
then
and
it-
it's all just kind of like, and then more
So
with
do you
seconds.
get
There was like,
furious? And all right, let's put it this way. I know you're Stoolie, so whenever I see, you'll always be my retweet for something that's broke.
I appreciate it.
But sometimes with the feed, you miss it. You don't even know that you theoretically broke it first, or vice versa. How mad do you get if you broke something? You start seeing like Jay Glazer or Schefter or someone else, even though you know it's yours, but everyone's retweeting the wrong guy.
That kind of stuff doesn't bother me anymore because I would just go crazy all the time.
That's
like,
what's happening. to
Yep.
me.
It's just
That's
People
literally
are
what-
stealing Dave's brain.
constantly.
yeah, but you don't care because you
You know,
Oh,
I
he
you
care.
worry
does.
about your own brain.
Oh, he
Everything
does.
else, like,
Yeah, I care,
but all the people who stole stuff, they know.
and I know.
That's
know
why,
that.
like,
I know,
with
but I
like
still.
with crediting, like everyone's so focused about like
Yeah.
as so and so report, and I do it because it's professional. You sort of have to, but I sort of wish you weren't. Everyone's just like when you have it, go with it, and I don't know. Everyone gets too caught up on like who had what first.
So
you
is
know?
it all turn into like the more credit? So you're getting the credit or breaking it, just that's improving Ian Rapoport's stock, and when your contract comes
Yeah.
up, you're like the guy. And
Well,
just,
it's more just like in people's brains when they see. Here's the real goal: when they see me on TV, do they stop and listen? And Schefter has it. I hope I have it. Glazer has it.
I tell you what, you need to get a suit more than $400 to get that.
I got one. I got one.
Okay, that's your money suit.
I am wearing very expensive shoes for what that's.
I
worth.
see that, but the
those
suit's
are-
got to match.
They're not that expensive.
They are pretty expensive.
All right.
What, how much?
I'm not gonna tell you, but they're very expensive.
Okay, I have a
You
question.
sit next to somebody.
How expensive are your
Fashionable.
shoes? Those are
Uh,
kind of ridiculous.
$400?
They're not.
Mine are 65.
What? You
These
don't-
are really $400. Is he
Yeah.
telling the truth?
Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
but Dave wears shoes just so he can tell you that they're $400.
No, you
they
absolutely
look like
can't.
shit.
Those
I know
look
they
like
look
regular
like.
No, they're
shoes.
Hugo Boss.
They look like shit.
Like snakeskin.
All right, how long does the high last after breaking a story?
Not very long.
Can I
Like,
respond?
like
And-
you're basically a crack addict.
Right, but then the problem is like when I break something big, I forget about it. Whereas like when you get beat on something, and
Oh,
it's
the
horrible.
losses. That's a gamble. You're a
Yeah,
gambler.
like,
You're
they're-
a gambler.
like,
You
The
gamble?
losses
No.
hurt
You're
way
a gambler.
more than the wins feel
I
good.
play. I like to play poker, but I don't play it really
Can
anymore.
I
but,
respond
like,
to a couple of your texts?
No. But like there are losses that I've had that I still think about that are
Like
like
what?
4 years. All right, you want to hear a story?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
All right. So I have 2 sons who are geniuses, are going to be great athletes, and are awesome.
All
How
parents
old are
say
they?
that. I put no
Mine,
stock that any
mine
of
probably
this-
more than a lot of
I
them.
don't believe
but
anything you just said about your 2 kids.
They're
Continue.
literally amazing. But anyway,
Of course, everyone's
so
kids are
Max,
amazing.
my oldest, was 4 months old, and he was a difficult baby. Whined a lot. Was had to be very hands on with him, which was
What
the-
babies do.
what
when they're
babies
4
do.
months old.
But our youngest was not like that. But anyway, so he was whining. I was watching a bowl game, and my phone was blowing up because stuff was happening in the game. So I put my phone down. I tell my wife, I'm like, Leah, I'm gonna go change Max. Maybe that'll get him to stop whining. I'm gonna go upstairs. She's washing bottles. I say, bring my phone up when you come up. She's fine. So I'm changing on the changing table, and she yells up the stairs about, I'd say 7 minutes later, like, you missed 2 phone calls, same number. I'm like,
That's a bad sign.
and like heart attack. And I'm like, oh my God. So I get my phone, I like throw the baby in the crib, heart attack, call the person, like, what happened? Like, the Bucks are hiring Lovie Smith. I'm like, oh my God, does anyone have it? Yeah, Glazer just put it out.
Oh, he's a, you know what?
And
though, Glazer's
so-
a Tampa Bay guy.
He is,
Yeah.
but I had it.
I know.
And I had it
Were you
5
mad at
minutes
your kid?
before. I was mad at everyone. And that was like, my wife didn't really get angry at me, but that was the first time she was like, the worst thing that happens to you, you miss a story because you were changing your son, you'll be fine. And I was like
That would not suit me, and I'd hold a grudge versus my kid forever. I do that
I
with
was
my
really
wife
upset.
all the time. Like the Wells and context report that the Patriots released broke right when I sat down for dinner with my wife, and I was so mad. I was just trying to read it all on my phone. I was like, "We gotta go." She's like, "We can't. We just sat down." You don't understand. This is what puts food on my table.
And your people are like, why isn't he responding?
Right, exactly. And it was the worst. The worst. And I could see that.
Yeah, so you feel my pain.
It is. When that happens, when sometimes in my experience, I can only speak for me, it may be with you guys, my wife doesn't always get it's 24/7. So if something breaks, I got to get up and go, and she's not buying that. And then it's just I hold a grudge for years, and it ruins everything.
You a
So
coffee?
your marriage is basically in the tank.
you,
Ian, you gotta. I'm gonna give you the best career advice I could ever give you. Your sense of humor doesn't come nearly across.
Yeah,
you
need
gotta,
it.
You gotta let it out.
Shefty doesn't have that.
You gotta.
Shefty doesn't have that.
You gotta put that tie down one notch. Go. That's what you should.
I
do.
should have a variety show.
yeah.
I thought about
Next, let's not
Ever-
go that far. But let's do that. One down, loosen that knot, and every time you break a story, give us a joke.
My mom texted me today. She said, I saw you on TV. You're great. I hate your tie.
It's just
She's,
boring.
yeah,
It's
it's just
boring.
blah.
just blah.
Have you ever thought about changing your name to Ian Rapoport, like Ian Eagle?
No, but I have animosity toward Iron Eagle for forcing
but
people to
that
pronounce my
might
name
be.
the wrong way.
But that might be
It's
the new
ridiculous.
one. That might be like the new you, the humorous Ian Rapoport.
Or you should always do that fist pump when you break it, and I always say
I should do
little
it on
things,
TV.
and I don't know if you have the budget, but like a little like drum roll or bada boom guy. So when you do it, they time it. He's always with you. You gotta be shorter than you, but when you go boom, there's a little sound effect.
I like
I
that
can see
too.
that. I think you might have figured some stuff out.
What beat do you have covered? Like what would you get beat on that would crush you? What team? Like what team do you have the most sources on, and what are their names?
It's a good question. How long were you at the Herald?
Like,
for?
what's your
10 years?
territory?
I was at Herald for 3 years.
You were there that long.
Doesn't really work like that, you know. You sort
There's
of have
not one-
sources everywhere.
But like Shefty's got like the Denver thing, and like Glazer, I feel like always gets Tampa Bay. So what's your one team that if someone else got it, you'd be like, God damn it, that fill in the blank of his name screwed me over.
That's how I feel like if a Patriot
You know-
story is broke, that's in my wheelhouse on a different website. It drives me
Right,
bananas.
like if Gronk goes and says something crazy, or
Right,
someone
and like
God,
Deadspin had it.
Bleacher
right,
Report.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Is Deadspin that's your
No,
arch nemesis?
we don't have any.
Where believe
We're
it or not, you may
unparalleled.
get this. We kind of consider ourselves a comedy site, not just strictly sports.
I never
So
thought that.
really,
He was being funny.
You hate TMZ, right?
no.
Do you hate TMZ?
No, I take a lot of my
I don't
blogs
like
from
Deadspin. I don't like Deadspin. I like
Wow.
some of the guys there at times, but I don't love them. But I just hate people I think stealing my brain.
Wait, wait,
Must
I
be
need to
hard.
know that team that like would kill you.
I just don't have that, you know. And like
You don't have strong sources like in one specific
I
team?
do, but No, it doesn't really work. My brain doesn't work like that. It's more like stories where you're like I've been on this, like I was on Sean Payton, like where he was gonna go from like day one.
Where is he gonna go?
Nowhere. But like if I
Heard it here
like,
first.
like I ended up nice. Like I ended up breaking that he was staying there.
That
And
doesn't count, does
and
it?
if I had not gotten that, I would.
Where was he gonna go?
I don't know that saying
San
somebody's not
Ooh.
changing is breaking.
No, I know.
That's just like,
debated.
hey, the world's still flat.
Do you think?
Leave it 11.
Do you think Chip Kelly's gonna be a good coach?
Did someone just ask how it's going with us? Did I see that tweet? I looked.
Can we see it? Can you read the
Who was
first
it?
3
Who-
text
well,
messages
no,
off your phone?
What are you going to respond? What is your answer to that?
I'll give you $200 bucks.
Spectacular?
It's terrible.
I'll give you $200 bucks for me to call a random number.
Someone
you get
just
to
texted,
decide.
how's it going?
Random
you must have
number?
been
Yeah.
nervous. You must have been like, what are they going to do? But you knew you're a friend of the program. You come in here. We treat our people well. The people we
was a
don't
little
treat
nervous.
well is the people. No, we're not that crazy.
That was
People-
my agent who actually texted me.
Oh,
see,
you got a
doing
big.
great.
What's your agent's
You're
name?
gonna come out of
Jerry
here. People,
Silbowitz.
you're going to go on the road.
That's
You're
good.
Probably
you
have
need,
a comedy
you need,
gig.
You need that kind of. You need a.
What do you mean by?
Jewish-
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was waiting for that.
Well,
Yeah, I
well,
wasn't
sorry,
sure where
we
you're
can say
going with
that.
that. Yeah.
Do you know Jeff
Because we
Howe?
are.
He took your job, right?
I do know Jeff Howe. Yeah,
We're Howe fans.
I figured you.
Yeah,
would
but he
be.
big leagued us last night, didn't he? I don't know what he
Wow.
looks like.
Really?
He big leagued us. He walked out of the steakhouse and he didn't say hello.
Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Ooh.
Do you ever just scroll and look at the names and you're like, oh, I have that guy's name,
My friends
number.
do that a lot.
But
We're
you're
your
not
friends. We're your friends.
No, we're not friends.
We're walking the line of questioning.
My
You
most
change
famous
your-
person in my phone.
Do you have Goodell's number?
Do you?
Lock the door,
We're
guys.
not. No, we're not calling Roger Goodell.
But
So you have his number.
I'm trying to answer.
We
your
are a
question about
heartbeat
your
away
most-
from talking to Roger Goodell, folks.
I'm
Can we
trying to
please
answer.
Call Roger Goodell.
No,
I'll call him on my number. He won't know where he got the number from.
We'll do *69.
I just put in a really good one, and I can't remember who it was. that I
Nice.
was-
Oh,
change
yes,
of
you can.
subject. Imagine getting Goodell's number.
Oh, imagine doing a
We
live
would
call
change it in
Goodell.
about 4 seconds.
I don't care if I just
Yeah.
got through and said "fuck
All
you."
right,
That's all I want.
so who's the most famous? Do you have Tom Brady's number?
Yeah, Goodell probably leaked.
you
it.
have
Tom,
Cam-
Probably-
Tom, Tom
probably
Brady
have-
recently changed his number. I don't have Cam Newton.
Yeah, because
I've
you
never,
How
guys are
often do guys
spying
change
on
their
him.
numbers?
a lot.
And do they ever text you like, "Hey, I'm changing my number," or they just let you have to go back? On
Sometimes, but then you're like, sometimes if you don't get it, you're like, God, this person's not. I had that with a coach when I saw Mobile. I was like, hey man, like, haven't responded. He goes, hey,
Right.
I changed my number 6 months ago. You're like,
I do that occasionally. How do you get sources?
why
do
do
you go
change
after?
your number? No one's calling you.
You'd be so surprised. How do you
Wife
get
probably looks at
sources?
your phone.
How do you get sources? Do you approach them or they approach you? And is it weird? Is it like shades on and like
No,
couple
it's-
like
no, it's mostly-
shake hands
honestly,
on the
it's,
palm?
it's like dating. It's like high school dating. Like you kind of meet someone, you strike a relationship, and you're like, can I
Have your number?
Can I get the digits? And you're
Right,
like,
right.
and like, if I ever need anything, can I call? And they're like, sure. And then you don't want to just like ask. So you'll kind of like
What's your
make a
benefit to
joke
them?
and, like,
Controlling the media?
some people like to be sources. Some people just like to be.
I'll be a source.
one-
Put me in your number.
You don't have any information.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
I broke that the Patriots are potentially signing Michael Vick.
I once broke a story in Chicago. I broke that we signed. Fuck, I can't even remember his name now. I don't know. I broke it though. It was a linebacker from Denver. The guy who did HGH. He played for us for like 1 year. He sucked. All right.
Good story.
Yeah, that story sucked. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Cut that part out, Yev. All right.
it.
So I'm not a journalist. Can you pay sources? I just pay them like
no.
$2,000
But
bucks.
you do.
Like,
You
hey,
clearly
I wouldn't. No, the,
Just a little
the,
bag
the
of
service
money?
I can provide, if you want to call it that, is first of all, like, I don't know, I have an agenda. Mostly, I don't care. So whatever, just as close to the truth as you could possibly get. So that's all I can really offer. The other thing is, if I have information beforehand that's not public,
Yep.
I can help them out with it.
little
some-
scratch my back.
Yeah, and so that's kind of, during the draft, that helps a lot. Where you could be like, hey, here's what I'm hearing. Are you hearing this? I'm like, oh, okay, thank you.
So how big would you say, and this is probably a rough guess, like your close, trusted, good sources? Is it 10 people? Is it 100 people? Like how many?
I probably have like a rotating group of like 30 or 40 people that I'll call or text like weekly.
And that's been built up over how long?
4 years.
And has anyone burned you where you're like you're no longer a source? You're out.
Like what Kensel
Yeah.
did to Mort.
Do they know
I
it? Do
really
you
don't
tell
know.
them, or you just stop texting them?
There was someone who passed along bad information. who I never went public with, but I called a couple key people and said, I'm hearing this. It turned out to be wrong. And I told this person, an agent, that I will never talk to him again, and I haven't talked to him again.
Wow, nice.
Agents, yeah, for sure.
Are you coming to Chicago for the draft?
I will be there.
You want to hang out?
No.
I could be a source. I could be your guy on the street. I could get the buzz about what's going on.
I don't think so.
I know
I'm
a few
really
people.
busy.
Ian,
And even if I'm not, I'm really busy.
I appreciate you coming on here. I want to hate everybody who works for the NFL. I don't hate you.
All right.
I think this
don't
was
hold
huge.
you personally responsible for the tragedy that has happened against the Patriots, and we both know you don't have to say it. No, Goodell will call you into his office, and he'll probably stomp you out like a bug. But I appreciate you coming on here. It's been fun. I think you're a funny guy.
You are team, the Stoolies. We're not really big Schefter guys, so we're now, when we turn the TV and we see you on it, boom, stop.
All right. That's all.
A little
that's
more
really
for
all.
your suit, but
And I did.
and change your name to Ian.
I did get my first Barstool shirt.
There you go.
What was it?
Put in the books. Mets.
You're a Mets guy.
Oh God, I'm a Cubs fan.
Yeah, that sucks for you.
Yeah, it sucked a lot. We went to
Where are you from
all the
originally?
games.
Westchester. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb, you got anything?
No, hey, thanks for coming on. It was good to talk to you, man. Casting couch.
All
Enjoyed
right.
it, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was a good time.
Shefty blocked me because I said he was like better than him.
Seriously?
During the Browners.